Hi, good morning, and welcome to Garage Geek. I hope everyone is having a great weekend. It's early on a Saturday morning. Um, I didn't realize that I usually do this at 10, and I'm doing it at 9. Like my life is so discombobulated right now. I'm not even thinking straight. Not that I ever thought straight, to be honest with you, but yeah, just everything is all over the place with my life right now. So this is going to be a kind of sad Fabulous Four because I didn't do my homework myself, and I was supposed to, bring something extra to the table when it comes to the things that I'm going to be talking about, and I just didn't do it, and I didn't even finish reading the book, which is so sad. So I don't know what to say about that. So we're going to be talking about H.P. Lovecraft's At the Mountains of Madness. And as you can see, I'm like a fourth of the way through it. So that was an epic fail. Late Night Tales is the recording. And this I chose by Agnes Obel, but this is a series. And I just wanted to kind of talk about this recording and then talk about the series in general. And then we're going to be talking about the movie The Bride of Frankenstein. And finally, the graphic novel Odyssey. And since I don't have much to say, then I was just kind of do some kind of comic overview from the comics that I've purchased recently, which I know that's big whoop, but I need to talk about something to fill up the time. I want to get to an hour. So yeah, I've got some stacks of books over here to show off, and hopefully maybe someone would want to jump on and show some of their books as well. Uh, Good morning, sleepy reader. I'm sorry I'm depriving you of your hour of beauty rest. So yeah, like I said, I hadn't even realized that I scheduled this an hour earlier than I normally do, because yeah, my life is just all kinds of crazy. Uh, Morning, Hall. Yeah. So thank you both for being here so early. Yeah, my life is so crazy, and so yesterday I was going to make an effort to finish this and this, but there was a free Halloween celebration in our neighborhood, like a little fair, and the kids really wanted to go to it, so I just ended up going to that instead of doing what I was supposed to do. But honestly, that's more important. We can all agree to that. So the kids had a blast, and even I did too, just getting out of the house. Morning, hubby. So I want to say hi because the kids are in the kitchen watching me. So, morning. We just had a little breakfast before I came out here. All right. So, I don't know what to talk about first. People in the comments, would you what would you like to talk about? Bride of Frankenstein, Lovecraft, Late Night Tales, or Odyssey? You can throw it in the chat, and if either of you want to jump on, you can do that as well. I can put the chat in the link. Just tell me. Good morning, Steve. Thank you for showing up. Do any of you have a preference? Which one should we get out of the way? Maybe the Lovecraft, because I didn't even finish it. So yeah, I'll just get rid of the book, especially since yeah, like I didn't finish it. So H.P. Lovecraft. Morning, Mark. No eggs. I don't even eat eggs. We had biscuits, and mine had some jelly on it. Oh, no worries. Nobody needs to jump on. Oh yeah. It's okay. I didn't even do the homework. I was so bad this month. It's terrible. So, hi, Lisa. So let's talk about the Lovecraft. Remember, if Lisa, if you'd like to jump on, if you're a Lovecraft fan, just let me know in the comments, and then I'll put the link. So I'm a Lovecraft fan, but I'm not a fanatic, right? I really enjoy dipping in to Lovecraft. He Something about the way he writes really kind of just brings me into his world. And my dog ate my homework. Yeah, that's true. Something about the way he writes, and it's just kooky. Now, I realized, what was it, a few years ago when this show was on, Lovecraft County or Country, I can't remember the name of it, and they read that poem that he wrote, that he was a pretty bad racist. And since then, I was reading one of his stories and I saw it immediately. I was particularly looking for that as I was going through this, and I didn't get to the end of the story, so it might have been there. The part I got, he just started mentioning race. And so I don't know if in the Mountains of Madness there is some kind of racism, but I didn't really see it so far in this one. However, having said that, I still really, yeah, I really like that show too. I still really enjoyed reading this, even though I didn't finish it. I was at the part where they were exploring the underground caves and catacombs of these, like, of this, long dead city, and I love that kind of thing. It's just like, and they're all alone, they're isolated, and it just makes you, wonder what it would have been like in 1910 to explore the Arctic, and then suddenly find, something like that. It kind of like when the people found the pyramids, like the underground, you know, like King Tut stuff, and like how cool that would have been. So yeah, I mean, despite his racism, I really like his writing, and every Halloween, I kind of just pull something Lovecraft out and start reading, and I usually don't get very far, but yeah, it's kind of like a tradition every year. So I don't know if any of you have any thoughts on Lovecraft that you'd like to share. Yeah, he mentions degenerate races, and he and sometimes he even, like, I remember in one that I was reading, he was describing them, and it was very clear what he was talking about. Let's see, I'm trying to highlight this one. Oh yeah, it's a good morning thing. So H.P. Lovecraft. So what I would like to say is, when I was young, I had a couple in this book set, and I loved it because the covers would form an image, right? So all the parts of this cover are taken from different parts of that painting. And what's crazy is, like, these books have gone up in price so much. And there was an earlier set where there's like locks on these like cartoon weird faces, and those cost a lot of money. It's like everything Lovecraft that was published has really shot up in price. And I remember, like, I'm kicking myself because as a kid, I bought these for so cheap, and now you can't even find them. In Elvira Meets H.P. Lovecraft miniseries, they address separating the art from the artist. It's a fun read. Yeah, I think that's very necessary. There's a couple, like I've mentioned before, like I just love, what's his name? The guy who wrote Ender, Scott Orson Scott Card. But yeah, I'm not a fan of his politics, and it's like I cannot not love Ender because I love the whole Enderverse. I just love it so much, and there's no way that I'm ever gonna not like that because of the person who wrote it. I just can't. I just Ender Bean, the whole thing. It's just phenomenally done. So, anyways, H.P. Lovecraft. Moving on. Oh, since Nate is here and since this is right here, I want to go ahead and plug his show is on Wednesday, right? So he's doing a book club, and he is discussing my favorite thing is monsters. And I am so glad I bought this because this thing is phenomenal. The art in it is amazing, and I'm pretty floored. I'm only like this far in it, and even if I don't finish it by Wednesday, I'm so glad that I'm reading this and that I bought this. This is a phenomenal graphic novel. So there you go, Nate. A plug for you. Hall Yeah is doing his on Wednesday, and I think it's 8 o'clock your time, so maybe 6 o'clock my time. I'm not sure. Let me go through the comments real fast. Morning, 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 morning. I haven't read that one, but Frank has it, so maybe I should. Uh, his writing is elaborate, sometimes ruin the flow of the story. I guess I kind of like it because I like this world that he builds where he makes up stuff. And I was surprised because there was a painter that he keeps mentioning in the Mountains of Madness, and he refers to these paintings over and over, and the artist was called Roerich. And I should have actually looked it up and shown some, but there are a lot of these like landscapes with like a Buddha figure in them, and he keeps mentioning them because in some of the paintings, I guess there would be like little buildings on the sides of the hills. I didn't find any like that, but he was likening it to the landscape that he saw when they would when they were in the ice, and they would see like the weird buildings from this elder race. Uh, And I when I looked up the artist online, the paintings were very very pretty. So I recommend anybody look it up. It's Roerich, Rorich. But the other things I would look up, it's like he made up all this lore for his stories, and they run through a lot of his stories, which is I think pretty cool. Favorite Thing has a volume 2 I haven't read yet. Yeah, I saw that. I was gonna buy it at the same time, but the price was a little bit high, so I thought I would wait. Um, and you feel it's one of the top graphic novels of all time. Um, from what I'm reading, I'm gonna kind of concur. I mean, the art is just blowing me away. The story is really cool. Like the fact that it's on like notebook pages, and it's like all these drawings on a notebook. It's just everything about this graphic novel that I'm reading. My Favorite Thing is Monsters. It's like really, really flooring me. It is so good. So I look forward to that discussion on Wednesday. I hope I can finish it by Wednesday, but even if I can't, I'm going to be there because it doesn't matter if it gets ruined for me. I will finish it anyway. So H.P. Lovecraft done. Let's talk about this because we can get it out of the way fast. Late Night Tales by Agnes Obel. So this is a series of recordings where they get mostly electronic uh, artists to make a compilation. And so it's not really their music. Sometimes they do put one or two songs of their own on the compilation. And it's supposed to be meant to be listened to after you get out of a club and you're kind of winding down. And I'm a big fan of this series. And what's really interesting is that they will often have a mix version of this so that all the songs flow together. And I don't know. I'm a big fan of this series, Late Night Tales. And if you've never listened to one, I would recommend it. And what I would recommend is if you can listen to the continuous mixes. The continuous mixes are on Spotify. Excuse me, I'm going to clear my throat. But the sad thing is, on the CDs, they don't include those mixes, and that's a shame. I think they should have another CD in these sets with the continuous mixes. Just a little grape that I have. But otherwise, I really do enjoy this series. Have any of you out there listened to any of these? Still saying hi and good morning. Oh, and by the way, Steve and Halia are going to be on a live stream tomorrow. Can you drop the name of the channel in the chat? So they're going to be doing a live stream tomorrow, and I think it's in the evening. All right. Sorry, I'm clearing my throat a lot. So we got the heavy hitters. I think I'll save Odyssey for last and talk about the Bride of Frankenstein. So I went ahead and watched this as a double feature. So I watched Frankenstein. Get this right. I watched Frankenstein first, and then of course I watched Bride, the sequel. And everyone talks about how this is the the better movie. And in fact, I was looking YouTube online, and one critic was saying, "Hey, this is my favorite movie of all time, and it's probably one of the greatest movies ever made." And I was just like, my jaw kind of dropped because I so disagree. I will have to catch the replay, head it out. Bye, Halia. Thank you for stopping in. Side Quest Comics channel. Okay, everybody, take a note of that. So that's going to be Side Quest Comics channel. And Garage Geek is live. I am, and I'm doing a really piss poor job of it, to be honest with you. So, Bride of Frankenstein. I prefer Frankenstein for a bunch of reasons. Bride of Frankenstein looks better. It has beautiful sets. The scenery is gorgeous. But as a movie, it's just got some weird choices. And I was laughing with Mark. Let me say your name without what am I, 13? Something must be wrong with my voice because I have to keep. But yeah, let me. I was chatting with Mark, and he was like, "What the heck is that scene with those little people?" And I was like shocked because he has this like trunk, and there's these like big like glass tubes, and he pulls off this it's a scientist in the movie. He pulls off this like velvet covering of the tubes, and there are people inside there just sitting. And I was thinking, what do they do all day? They're just sitting there in the dark in the tube. How do they breathe? I'm like, it makes no sense. And as soon as he starts taking the covers off, they become active, and they're like fighting, and they're like, look, it was technically for the time a brilliant scene because they had all these like little miniature people in jars. And I bet for the time that was amazing special effects. But it's just such a weird scene, and it takes you out of the movie. It's just like, because I'm thinking, how is it possible? Wouldn't they go insane? It's like solitary confinement. They're just sitting in a dark glass tubes all day, and they're trotted out like what, once a month? Like that whole scene just like kind of freaked me out. I'm just like, I don't get it. If you've seen the movie and and you know about that scene, I was just like, that was weird. Mm. Yes, it was random, and it only showed off special effects, and that's why I had a problem with it, because I think that if a movie is brilliant and it's the best movie of all time, every scene should have meaning and purpose. I mean, I guess it was to show that he was this great scientist, mad scientist. I don't know. It was. I wish my classroom could be like that. I could just like, put them in little jars and only take off the thing when I needed them. No, it was so weird, that scene. But I'm gonna say, like, the last 15 minutes of the movie, wonderful. It's just amazing, right? So if you looked at the last 15 minutes of The Bride of Frankenstein on its own, you would see that, yeah, it really is a really cool movie. Let's see. The comedy relief of that scene just really screwed up the movie for me. Oh yeah, I was gonna say that too. Yeah, it's the whole, so Frankenstein keeps it to kind of terror and horror, right? And I think that's kind of what I want in a horror movie. I don't want comedy. In fact, sometimes um what do you call those, comedy horrors, like that's just not my thing. I don't like them, because if I'm watching a movie, I want that creepy element to be there. And of course these movies are like almost 100 years old now, and they're not that scary in a sense, but it's the atmosphere that they create, and it's the sets, and it's the costumes and the makeup, and then to have that comic scene in there, it just really throws everything off. I dread it when I know it's coming up, and then I am pissed about it for the rest of the movie. Okay, I think, Mark, you need to let it go. I don't see the best movie of all time. It's just a cool movie, and I felt so much for the monster. You're absolutely right. Like I'm saying, the last 15 minutes, really cool. Oh, also they throw in this weird religious element. Now, of course, the first Frankenstein movie has a religious element, but it's all about somebody, overstepping their boundaries and trying to play God, and it's a really cool theme. And it's always interesting because that famous line is always, it was censored out of the movie, but it's like the key thematic element to this movie, and that is continued over in this movie. But this movie tries to make Frankenstein into a Christ-like character. They even have him up on the cross at one point. He's, persecuted throughout the movie. Like, I get that there is his innocence in this movie, but in this one, it just takes it a little bit too far, because they gloss over the fact that, oh, there's a dead body here. Like, they didn't show how he killed the person. Like, oh, there's a dead body, but he's Christ, so like I don't, like, Christ didn't go around killing people. So I get it, like the innocence, and I just think that's a weird connection to make. I think that the religious imagery on this is more spot on than trying to make him into like a Christ-like figure who wants a bride. Okay, that was interesting. So, anyways, I did enjoy watching both of these. The problem is, I really wanted to watch the commentaries, so I would have more to bring to the conversation, but I just didn't get around to them. And I will watch them, hopefully soon, because I'm very interested in what the critics have to say about both of these movies. But yeah, like, Bride of Frankenstein is just kind of has too many little misses for me. And I feel that Frankenstein is the more superior movie, despite its flaws. Oh my goodness, something happened to the comments. Uh oh. Wait, there's like a whole bunch of comments. Um, so let me just start here. Hello, Mr. Atkins. Frankenstein was my mom's favorite movie as a kid. I could see why. I mean, it's a great movie. I hate the little people. Yeah, we've we've determined that. So saying hi again. Okay, I had shown that one before, and I showed that one and showed that one. Okay, I don't see. Okay, we saw that one. Sorry. Valerie Hobson is a great addition to Bride, though, and is wonderfully atmospheric. But dang, those little people. I will let it go now. Who was Valerie Hobson? Uh, she wasn't the actual bride, was she? Isn't that Elsa Lanchester? I forget who Valerie Hobson is in the movie. Was she Frankenstein's wife? Because they did make that cast change. There was a couple of cast changes from the first to the second movie. Um, hey, sorry, just got home. No, no worries. Like this stream was at the wrong time. I'm so underprepared. So we're saying a lot of haze again. Highs haze. Bride works as a kind of dream logic movie. Yeah, I'm not saying it's a horrible movie. It's just there's some kind of like I think some choices that for me make it the lesser movie. I think Frankenstein is the better movie, in my opinion. It's I mean the last 15 to 20 minutes of Bride of Frankenstein I think are brilliant. They're beautiful. Um, and yeah, Son of Frankenstein. I remember I think I watched that one a few years ago and I remembered really enjoying it. And then I named my dog after Elsa Lanchester. Oh, I didn't know that. I did know her name was Elsa though. All right, so there you go. I also have the steel books, which I'd love to show off because why not? So Alex Ross is a pretty famous comic book artist, and he put out, or the company put out a set of his art. So this is a steel book. I think they're really cool. So that's his art for the original Frankenstein movie. It's pretty cool, and I like that it's black and white, and they didn't go for color. This one is in a little plastic case, so it would take me a little while to get out. So this is the Bride of Frankenstein. Pretty cool. Like this is only on the plastic. So for example, this is the back of the steel book, but when you pull it out, it's just that smoky background. Um, I love these things. So if you're a fan of these movies, hunt down the Universal Monsters steel books with art by Alex Ross. I think I'm still missing like one or two of them. I think I don't have the Wolfman. I think was the set reused for Young Frankenstein. I thought I heard that. That would be good. What a good movie that is. By the way, yeah, those steel. I think you're referring to the steel books. The steel books are gorgeous. And I mean I like these old movie poster ones, but yeah, so I have both, so I'm happy with that. The machinery. Oh, okay. All right. So now we're on to Odyssey, which is Image Comics, and it is Matt Fraction and Christian Ward. And Sleepy already knows this because I told him I have a love-hate relationship with this book. It might be because I'm a fan of the original Odyssey, and I've seen it in many incarnations. So the art, the first thing that hit me is you're overwhelmed by how beautiful the art is, and it's all because of the psychedelic colors, right? And the if you look through this book, it's like there's so many double page spreads that you really have to like pour over to find out what's going on. Like there's so many weird, quirky details in there. And I'm sure upon the first read, I missed a lot. But I'm going to have to say that upon further examination, there's a lot wrong with the art. So if you look at the art superficially, it looks stunning and amazing. I'm going to give you an example. I found the art to be very lazy in sections, and I took pictures of it. So here is one of the covers, and I think this is stunningly gorgeous art. Okay, sorry, I can't get it. Like, can you see? I don't know. You can see the detail around the Cyclops' mouth and his hands. Like the art, when this artist wants to, he can do such a great job. But then look at this panel from the interior. It's so lazy. Like this person doesn't even have a face. And like look at the face on that one. Like I know that's nitpicky, but when you're talking about stunning art, this looks just really lazy to me. And there's so many panels like that throughout. Now I know you could say, hey, it's meant to be psychedelic, blah, blah, blah. Well, in my opinion, that's lazy. And it took me out of the comic experience. Mm. And I'm also going to say that the writing was kind of disjointed for me. And I think so first off, I didn't do this comic justice. It needed more time because of the serious matter. So all I did was I did one read through and it felt disjointed. And then some of the writing was just, in my opinion, bad. So especially in the House of Atreus section, which I love that from real history. Like he makes rhymes that are very Poe-like, and he uses a lot of curse words to kind of modernize it. And I think that detracts from the classical element of the poetry. And he did the whole poem, and then you had to turn the page, and the last line would be on the next page with the word mother. Oh, wait, my kids are listening in the other mother effers. And so I was just like, I didn't like that choice. Like, that's the kind of poetry you're going to write. I mean, I guess you're writing it for a modern audience, but I don't know. However, let's talk about its pluses. I went right into its negatives. So this is trying to create the Odyssey in like a space opera, and there is all men have been destroyed because of their sins. So Zeus got, I think it was Zeus, got rid of all men, but one of the humans who was very crafty, I forget which one, she comes up with an alternative. So there's a third sex called the Sebex, and they're able to have children. And so it was just muddy and convoluted, and it was weird. So there were men throughout this, and then there weren't, and then I don't know. I was kind of like, what's going on with the grandkids? I'll watch the rest of the show later. Bye, Steve. Thank you. So Kenneth Strickfaden had the machinery from the animation of the monster in his garage, and Mel used it and gave him a long overdue credit. Oh, that's pretty cool. Thank you for looking that up, uh, uh, Mister. I want to say it right, Ustad. Thank you for looking that up, Morton. So, like I said, I had a love-hate relationship. I kind of admire what he was doing. Um, he took the Odyssey and made it. This is definitely his own vision of the Odyssey, and it sticks to the story. Like you're going to have the Cyclops, and you're going to have like I said, the House of Atreus. You're going to have the Trojan War and its aftermath. Like you're going to go through all of that stuff, but he puts it into a world where like all the gods are, they're all female, uh and there aren't any males for the most part, and it's in space. And his design for spaceships are pretty interesting. Like the people in the spaceships have to be linked to the spaceship, and if there's a tremor in the mind, that would cause the spaceship to get off course. And there was an interesting scene in early in this where like all of the officers of the ship are linked into the ship, but one of them has doubt because of what happened on the battle, and that causes the spaceship to go off its course. So you know, of course, in the Odyssey, they're on a 10-year journey home, and it's part of that and something else that causes them to get off course. Um, but the story isn't told always in a linear fashion. It jumps back and forth, and then you have sections. And I like certain elements, I guess, were done and then just moved on to another one. No, it was a very interesting book, very interesting read, but I did have my quibbles with it. So I don't know if any of you have actually read this, but it was a very interesting read. The art was certainly fun to look at and to pour over, and every time you turn the page, you didn't know what to expect, and that was really interesting. It's just that I did find the art a little bit lazy in places. Like the artist needed more time to actually put out a great piece of work. And so, I mean, those are my thoughts on Odyssey. I don't know if anybody has read this, and if so, comments below. All right, so I'm done with my Fabulous Four, and I'm just gonna move on. Like I said, I did that in 30 minutes. I decided to pad this show with just showing off some comics that I acquired recently. Some of them I was bad. I went on Whatnot. Some of them are gifts from other people. And then even though I showed these on a show that I was on with Razor Comics, I'm going to show some purchases I got at a local comic shop. So I might as well start with those. Get those out of the way. So when I went to my local comic shop, oh, let me start right here because I did mention these in another video. But Son of Crom sent me these Planet of Vampires, and I think everyone on here has seen them before, but they were right on the top, so might as well show those off again. I was very grateful to get those. That was very appreciated. Now, when I went to the comic shop, there were 2 issues of Penthouse Comics waiting for me, and of course, these are magazines, and they have what do you call it, this cover because of the nudity on the artwork. So I'm just gonna show you the cover of it, but there's one breast exposed and there's a serpent down here, and that's why it has that. So maybe I can pull this from the bottom. Yeah, I mean, I could show you. It's just a serpent wrapped around her. And then these things, they're actually not like that's the cover of the next one. They're actually not just slips of paper. They're actually posters, and they have art in the middle. And so I'm going to cover up this. So this one has, like an anime style lady sitting on a couch, showing off her junk. So, but I'm enjoying these Penthouse. I haven't read too many of them, but I need to get caught up. They're more adult oriented. What I don't like is at the end of each issue, there's an actual pinup section. Like, no, what would you call it? Like, not like a centerfold, but there is a woman in each issue, and like as you go further and further through it, she takes off more and more of her clothes until she's finally naked. And I mean, I guess that's what Penthouse is about, but I'd prefer that they not do that and just have the comics. But I'm probably not the typical Penthouse reader, so just let you know. Um, oh, I did talk about the music, which was the Late Night Tales. Did you miss that part, Sleepy? I talked about this, so this is a series. I did it very quickly. Did you actually listen to it? Would you like to make some comments on it? I don't mind revisiting it if you want to make some comments. Let me know. So I could recap. Like this is a series I think put out in England, and they get electronic artists to make like a late night compilation of like a mixtape that you would hear after you get out of the club and you're kind of winding down. I really enjoy this series, and they also have for each one of these they have a continuous mix, which I'm saddened that they don't actually include in the CD versions. But the continuous mixes, which I prefer, they're actually on Spotify. But yeah, it's like one of your favorite artists just making a mixtape for you, and it's almost always their songs that I didn't know, and it's fun listening to and some of them are from like the 50s all the way up till now, and it's just like an eclectic mix, and the people on these always do a great job. I have a couple more sitting here. So this one was by Agnes Obel. This one was by Floating Points. This one is by Bad Bad Not Good. And so I mean I always enjoy listening to these. So that was the music. Sleepy. All right. So then after the Penthouse, um, I was talking. Mr. E, the low grade king. He sent me a text. He's like, "Look, they did like DC is listening to you because they went ahead and they put out their facsimile issue in a golden age size." And I was like, "Whoa!" And that was one of the reasons I wanted to go to the local comic shop because I didn't order this. I didn't realize that when it was up for solicitation that it was actually a golden age size. So it's bigger than the regular comic. So here's a regular comic, right? And so this is significantly bigger. Now, what Mr. E didn't tell me is that the paper quality in this is really strange. So when you open it up, the paper quality is like, I don't know, it's dark. And I don't know if this is supposed to represent uh like the real comic experience at the time. Was it put out on paper like this? Like inferior kind of newspapery type paper? And if so, that's kind of interesting, right? But I do prefer when I have these modern facsimiles to have the art with the really nice paper in the background. So I mean, I guess you can't win, but I'm not going to fault them if this is what it was really like. This is kind of giving you the authentic experience, and no facsimile has really been put out like this before. But if that's not the case, then this is, I think, a misstep on DC's part. I think they kept it cheap at 77.99 because all the facsimiles are that because the paper is, I think, cheaper than the other kind of paper that they've been using for the facsimiles. However, quibbles aside, I am so glad to have this. I will take any kind of facsimiles from this era, and I do applaud DC for going in this different direction. Um, the one thing that I don't want is though the same comics being reprinted over and over again. Like we already have this comic in the regular facsimile, and now we have it in this, and we have it in the giant size, and like I just want more variety. I want more of the comics from that era, like a different collection, right? So that I could add to my collection of Golden Age comics in the facsimiles. Okay, I'm gonna move on. So another thing that I've been buying recently are the distillery comics. And the reason I'm getting those is because I really I really like this isn't a distillery, but I like these magazine size comics with no ads that really let you look at the art. And that's also the case with the Savage Sword, right? We're getting back to these magazine style comics that have, just art cover to cover and story and with the letters page, and it's going back to the 70s. But Distillery, in my mind, is really doing a great job because they're getting a lot of really great writers in the industry to put out these mini series, and this is one of them. This one is written by Brian Azzarello and it's called Life, and it's actually a double book. It's like a flip book, so you have one part of the story told from one character's point of view in the first half, and then when you flip it over, you're going to get the same story, but from a different character's point of view. I mean, that's a gimmick, but it's still kind of interesting. And so this is the first issue of it. And I read this one. I haven't read the second one, but I have it. So I'm looking forward to reading that. Another one is this Spectrograph, and I really, really like this series. And this one is written by James Tynion IV, and this is basically about a couple of people trapped in a house where these Satanists, they're doing some kind of experiments with ghosts, and they trap these people in a house, and they're trying to get these, figure out a way. It's like a modernized ghost story, basically. We got this one, which I haven't read yet, called Time Waits, and this one is by Chip Zdarsky. And I've read some of his runs on books, and he's a great writer. This was the second issue of that Life book that I showed. And so I think Distillery is really hitting it out of the park. I wish I could afford to buy everything that they put out, but I can't because each one of these is about $8 to $10. And so, I got to pick and choose. But And and you might argue, you could just wait because they put them all out in like a hardcover once they're done. But these kind of comics, they're kind of fun to just to pick up on a monthly basis. So I would say if you haven't checked the distillery out, that you really really should. Um, my recent comic haul. So this is the comics that I got. Sorry, these are the comics that I got. I pre-ordered, and so some of you have been getting them all along, but I get them monthly. So I got this Epitaphs from the Abyss, and I guess that's a Lee Bermejo cover. I mean, look at that! Like that's that cool cover. And these, I actually haven't read one of these yet because I just haven't had time. But I've heard from different YouTubers that the different stories inside are hit or miss, just like any of these compilation style books. But man, that cover art. Here's another one, Cruel Universe. So these comics are in the EC universe, or they're making them like EC and they're modernizing them. And the next couple I bought for my husband. So actually, there's like five of them. So this one is the best cover. It's I bought him Thundercats. Pretty cool cover. Scooby Doo, Batman, Scooby Doo Mysteries, Hercules, and Lilo and Stitch. And now, when you actually open up these comics, the interior art is pretty cool. They're not bad. The interior art is pretty nice, and they're quick reads as well. I've read a couple of them. They're quick but not bad. And then, for example, this Lilo and Stitch, it opens with that like drawing, cartoon drawing. It's pretty cool. And then the interior art again, it's nice for kids comics. These are really nice. There's a couple facsimiles that I have. In fact, all the rest are facsimiles. So this gorgeous Batman and Robin with the Neil Adams cover. That's a really cool facsimile. There's a superhero Secret Wars, and I think that's the best cover of them all. This is Zek and Austin. Yeah, great. A lot of people like the Spider-Man one, of course, but where he has the new costume. Um, I don't know why I bought this one. Like I shouldn't have bought that one, but it's an X-Men modern facsimile. I don't know why I got that. Here's a great George Perez Crisis on Infinite Earths cover. Another modern Spider-Man facsimile, which I probably didn't need. And then there's this. This is pretty cool. This is a Veronica, and like look at they're like steaming in the snow, watching her jump. That's a pretty racist cover. I mean, racy cover. And like look at Archie's tongue like sticking out. So yeah, a lot of fun those comics. I got a new magazine, the Vampirus Carmilla. Uh, that's I'm pretty sure a Frazetta cover. Yes, it's right there, the signature. I don't know if you can see it. Frazetta. Like that Superman and Doctor Doom being all worse for wear. Um, yes, the Doctor Doom. Which one was the Superman worse for wear? I don't remember that. I also got more from this facsimile company, the facsimile editions, and these are reprints of 10-cent comics called The Black Cobra, another Black Cobra. I mean, I love these reprints. I'm sorry, facsimile editions or reprints or whatever of these Golden Age comics, and this is what I want more of from DC, from their Golden Age. Oh, Archie's tongue. Yeah, that's pretty funny. I mean, that cover is pretty risque, I think, but it's more of a modern issue. I got the new Mad American Scream, and then look at this great back cover. Look at that. I actually have that on a big sticker that someone sent me as a bonus in the mail. Um, I don't know what you think about this Savage Sword of Conan, the Battle of Blackstone, but the thing about it is, this is cool. It's a wraparound cover. But it's just a modern version of Conan. This is like not what you would expect from a Conan, and then like he looks like not Arnold Schwarzenegger. Sylvester Stallone. He looks like Sylvester Stallone in this. But yeah, it's a great wraparound cover. I'll give it that. But these are all the different characters in the Conan, not Conan universe. Who's the writer of Conan? Robert E. Howard. Yeah. So I think what they're doing is they're like building it all up so that all these characters are going to go on some kind of journey together. They're going to have some kind of interaction. Sleepy knows more about that. With a dead Supergirl. Oh, that one. Yeah, the Crisis. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And that looks like, I think it kind of reminds you of the Pietà, the painting by oh my god, who did the Pietà? Like I can't think anymore. The Italian guy. Wish we could still get Mad Magazine here. Yeah, like this is a new incarnation of Mad, and a lot of it, I think almost all of it, is reprints. They reprint stories, but they'll throw in one or two new ones. And you know what? I'm fine with that. It's kind of like when you read one of these, it's like a trip down memory lane. Uh, I got I got the latest in the Erie's collecting Erie 32 through 36. This one is volume 7. Now, it's sad because I don't have a lot of them. I only have like 3 or 4 of these. I need to like go online and get the other ones. But I love these things especially because they have the original covers, right? In like full color. Like this is why you get these things. Not only because you can look at these, read the magazines cheaply, but man, those covers are just gorgeous. And to buy all these issues, it'll cost you a fortune. And so these books are so inexpensive. Like I think I paid $12 or $13 for this. Like the it's 24.99 retail, and so I probably paid about 15 or 16 for this. Now I remember they used to go for 12 or 13. But wow, what a great addition to your library if you can't afford the original issues of Eerie and Creepy and all of those things. Oh, I have gotta have all these comics to show off. I don't know if I'll do them all. It's already at 47 minutes. So I did. I was really bad. I went on Whatnot and one night, and I was like, I haven't been on Whatnot in a while. So I spent a little bit more money than I should have. If Francisco's listening to this, sorry, Frank. But I haven't gone on since. And what was really cool is the person threw in a bunch of free comics, and yeah, it was the free comics are fun too. So I'm just gonna kind of go through them, like the Super Team Family, and like some of these, like this one I got for a buck for Superman's girlfriend Lois Lane. I mean, look at that, a buck. Come on, I was really not spending a lot. Like if it went beyond $4 or $5, I just let the other person have it. Except I'm going to show you one that I actually spent more on. I really wanted. So yeah, I was getting these Lois Lanes for ridiculously cheap, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm trying to get the Lois Lane, the Superboy, the Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen, World's Finest. World's Finest is going to be tougher because Batman's in them, and so everybody's after Batman these days. This is a great loser because when in the stream he's like, I don't even want to say what that looks like, and then he says it's like a big deuce being dropped out of these guys. Secret Origins of Superheroes. I only wanted this one because of the Doctor Fate. And then there's a Warlock. It had I think I got it cheap because I don't know if you could see it, but there's an actual date stamp on it. And a lot of people don't want their comics with that on. I'm fine getting it cheap with a little bit of flaws. Like here's a Joe Kubert, and this is a pretty cool cover, divided in half, Coward or Hero. I got this Challengers of the Unknown, and this one was really interesting because all the people at the bottom they look like Wolverines, like they have the Wolverine costumes. Uh, this one is an interesting a Superman. Super what? And he's being like whacked. That really looks like a Neil Adams cover to me. I'm not exactly sure, but that hand being so, large in the foreground, it just looks like Neil Adams to me. I don't know if I can find the signature. I don't see it. Right, let me go ahead and put these down. So I was able to get Jimmy Olsen. So this one is a number 70, and it's all the different colors of kryptonite. And then here some free ones that I got. So these were all free, and like he said, a whole stack of like free ones. So number one, he sent me a Spectacular Spider-Man, and yeah, I'm collecting all of these. And I don't know if I actually have this one, but I was so happy to get that for free. I love the artist. I got this X Factor. That cover is hilarious. Um, Elric, which I love, and then this one I don't think is by the famous artist who started him. I can't remember his name right now. I'm so bad, but I'll take Elric comic. Yeah. No, this one he tried to sell and nobody wanted it. I guess because it's got this giant piece of tape like going all across the whole cover. But as a free comic, I was like, well, that's pretty cool. It's Superman number 246. It's one of those double issues. And yeah, it's got tape going all through it. But yeah, for free, that I was happy. And then when you open it, like the tape is split. That's all right. It was free. Um, Continue with the freebies. This is one I already have, so I'll be sending that to somebody. These are on like these, I think. Oh no, Marvel. I actually don't have this one, but I don't want it. I don't need those Marvel milestone editions because now I have a real facsimile of this. A Conan 71. That was cool to throw in. The X-Men 2099. I'm going to be giving that away. And this one, I'm not sure if I have it or not, but since it's an earlier Dazzler, I'll probably keep it. I might have it already. I hate when they did these giant banners on their comics. I just hate that. I think that ruined the art on a lot of the comics. And oh, I went through those quickly. I think I'm done. I had a couple of epics that I wanted to show you, but I don't know where those went. Maybe I didn't pull them out because I wanted to talk about the fact that in many of the epics, we're getting large runs. You could win this 10-speed bike. Hi, Larry. Yeah, hilarious, right? And I just don't want that on my art. Even at the time, I remember like thinking that was so bad. So I wanted to talk about epics. I guess I didn't pull them out. Um, this is really interesting. So I think it was on Hall Yeah, or it might have been Sleepy's. They were talking about the new Charles Burns, and all it is a collection of covers. So it's just art. And man, is this strange! And I was bursting out laughing while I was reading this. I mean, not reading it, just looking through it. It's got like the weirdest covers. Like they're all supposed to be covers for science fiction comics that never were. And as you go through this, it's just weird, but some of them are really, really funny. Like especially like look at the cover, the title of this one, Unwholesome Love. Pretty funny. And then there's the ones about the teens and um I don't know if I would recommend buying this because it's kind of like a one and done kind of thing. But I mean, like, look at this. This is one is like sad. This guy is watching this creature get bullied. Um, oh wait, this one's kind of over here. This one's risque. It's just like weird stuff. And I'm glad I bought it because I just think it's fun to flip through this. Throbbing Heart. Oh, Teen Diary. Like what? Like why doesn't she have pants on? And I love how it looks like the original logo, which is it's called Teens in Trouble. I think that's a good way to end this live stream. So I thought this thing was so worth it. If you just want to like see an artist just have fun, right? He's not telling a story. He's just like being weird and kooky and creating all these like comic covers. It is about $25 to $27 right now, so you're gonna pay a little bit. That's on in stock trade, right? Because like Larry says, you're gonna be a chump to pay retail. So yeah, the original is 25. So wait, I didn't pay that much. I must have paid like 18 for it. Oh, I remember I paid 17 for it. Yeah, that's right. So if Hi Donald. So if you just want some quirky fun, but it is a one and done kind of thing, I will probably pull it out every couple years and just look at it. Oh, that sounded weird. Okay, I'll take it off the shelf every couple years and kind of glance through it. It's fun. So I think I'm going to go ahead and end my live stream with that. I don't know if anybody would like to say anything before I jump off, but otherwise, I'll just give it a couple of seconds. Otherwise, I want to thank everybody who participated today. And again, I want to thank everybody for the support. Nobody in the comments? All right. Thanks, everybody.